Algebraic equations, solving two-step equations. What do I mean by two-step? Well, I mean there's two things happening to the variable. On problem number 1, you can see the variable is being multiplied by 32, but then also on that same side of the equal sign, it is being added by 55. So which do we do the inverse of first? That's the million-dollar question. Well, normal order, as you were probably taught ever since 5th or 6th grade, is the order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Some people call this PEMDAS, where it's parentheses first, then exponents, then multiplication and division, then addition and subtraction. But we are going to use inverse operations. The word inverse means basically do the opposite. So inverse order would be PEMDAS backwards. And I know that kind of looks hilarious, but it really proves my point here. We are going to actually start by doing the inverse of the subtraction or addition piece. That was happening to our variable. Then we will do the inverse of the division or multiplication piece that was happening to our variable. So let me show you what I mean. The inverse of adding by 55 is subtracting by 55. I will do that first on both sides. Now, from here, if you're using a calculator, great. If you're not using a calculator and you want to make the subtraction become adding the opposite, you may. Totally up to you. Some kids do that. Some kids don't anymore. Your choice. You work down on both sides, you get negative 232 on the right. Left side, 55 minus 55 is 0. You don't have to show the 0, but bring down the 32x. Notice that 32 did not disappear. So the x is not by itself yet. It is still being multiplied by 32. Inverse, divide by 32. We do it on both sides. Work down, use a calculator if you need to, you will get negative 7.25. You could also give the answer as a mixed number, negative 7 1/4. Let's look at one more problem. What is happening to our variable? Here the c is in the numerator of a fraction and it is being divided by negative 6. Afterwards, it is being subtracted by 27. But we're going to reverse that order because inverse means do the opposite. So let's start with the subtracting by 27. Inverse is to add by 27. Do it on both sides. Work down. You will get 31. Bring down that c over negative 6. That negative 6 does not disappear because we haven't done the inverse of it yet. Now we will. The inverse of dividing by negative 6 is multiplying by negative 6. Do it on both sides. Work down. You will get negative 186. So the moral of the story is inverse operations has to use the inverse order of normal. And that's why you're seeing me do the inverse of subtraction or addition first on both sides. And then later, I will multiply or divide on both sides to finish solving my equation.